Everybody, welcome back to the channel. DOS here. In this video, this is actually a highlight taken from my stream. If you ever want to see me stream, I stream here on YouTube, but I also stream on twitch.tv/TheRealDOS. I'm not super consistent with streaming. I typically just stream whenever there's new content or whenever I really feel like it. But you can always be sure that I'll be checking out PTBs, stuff like that on there. But by all means, this is going to be a slightly edited highlight of the stream when I checked out the new Survivor and the new Killer for 9.2. Enjoy. Where is she? There she is. V. Bunyasak. Yep. So I've known about this character. I think she's really cute. All right. V. Bunyasak is an energetic drummer whose adventurous nature led to a doomed concert. Her personal perks, Road Life, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Ghost Notes allow her to leverage repair work into faster healing, strengthen the allies' ability to repair and heal, and recover from exhausted faster. Super sick looking Survivor. Probably like a new main for me because I like her a lot. She have skins? No skins. But she has... Oh, wow. Holy crap. Okay, let's look at her cosmetic pieces here. A thrill-seeking drummer whose boundless energy lifted the band Axic to a whole new level. When the band's drum machine kicked the bucket, she was ready to step in, knowing all of her songs. They broke into an opera house to play a show. A strange cassette found in the dressing room almost scared them out of playing. She closed her eyes and lost herself in an exhilarating drum solo as a fog engulfed the stage. And then this is the outfit you get for having the DLC. She always made sure to wear flexible fabrics that would facilitate her flashy percussive flurries. Let's see. Creative shoot. As they started to get buzz for their live performances online, she recruited her friends Moe's to get some awesome promo shots. Promotional shoot. Band manager. Let's see here. Cool. Ooh, I like this. Her drums made Ass Kick awesome, but it was her work behind the scenes that earned them the buzz. That's super sick. I like the pink ribbon. I love the wolf cut, by the way. Before joining Axe Kick full-time, she answered every drummer's wanted ad and jammed with a bunch of local bands. Slam jams. Ooh, I like that top. All right, I think I know what fit I'm going to do. And then her prestige. Roasting drummer infectious energy whose presence breathed new life into the band Axe Kick. All right, let's look at her perks. Bio, here we go. Road Life. Faulty amps, sweaty dives, broken down vans. Nothing makes you feel more alive. While injured, not broken, and repairing a generator, gain 1 token for each regular great skill check success. When you have 6 tokens, spend all tokens and gain 100% healing speed until you stop healing. Lose 2 tokens when you fail a regular skill check. Broken prevents survivors being healed. Remind me to teach you how to patch your own pedals, kid. Crit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Steady beat makes for steady work. Press active ability button 2 while standing and idle to enter the performance interaction that lasts up to 15 seconds and empowers survivors within 16 meters. You will get continuous skill checks during the performance. The effect lasts for 90 seconds. If the performance is completed, increases the odds of getting healing and repair skill checks by 20%. When the ability is cancelled or performance completes, it goes on cooldown for 90 seconds. We are loud. We are heavy. We are Axe Kick. That's a pretty cool looking perk. I like that. And Ghost Notes. You know that the best breakdowns precede the biggest buildups. While you have exhausted, your scratch marks disappear 50% faster. You recover 10% faster from exhausted. Exhausted prevents survivors from activating other perks that caused exhaustion. Let's take it to the bridge. So this is going to pair well with Vigil. All right, the energetic V Bunyasak always loved exploring and getting into trouble, but more than anything, she loved playing the drums. She began to teach herself how to play at an early age. She learned traditional instruments and styles, but really fell in love with modern rock. By the age of 18, she could play virtually any song on the radio after hearing it once. As a young adult, she went to a local show and saw Tick and the Kicks. She immediately fell in love with the band's scrappy sound. Tick's vocals had a gravelly urgency, and Crit's huge guitar sound filled the room. The only problem was the tired old drum machine that took ages to reset between each song. But she couldn't get their music out of her head. With no records or merch, the only way she could hear them was live, so she followed them from show to show, learning the simple beats programmed into the drum machine. The band finally had their big break opening for a group of local legends. They sweated their way through sound check in the massive uncooled venue. When disaster struck, the drum machine crackled and smoked, finally giving up the ghost. They were loading back into the van when V offered to play with them. Noting that the house drum set was already sound checked, with nothing to lose, they let her play and the crowd was whipped into a frenzy. Even Tick and Crit seemed rejuvenated by her brash, loud style and boundless energy. She became a permanent member of the band the next day. After jamming for a few weeks, they decided it was time for a new name. V suggested they keep some of the old name, Axe Kick. They played their first show under the new name to a modest but enthusiastic crowd who had shown up just for them. V had her friend Moss record the show and post it online. Before long, they were getting buzz from around the world. V spent all of her off time making shirts and patches. Axe Kick released an EP online before long. The three were scraping out a modest living. When Tick showed the band a video of strange phenomena at an abandoned opera theater across town, V's thrill-seeking instinct kicked in. She said they had to play a show there. Tick and Crit were immediately on board. A heavy show at a massive abandoned venue was going to be the gig at the Century. The night before the performance, they went to scout the venue. Everything was covered in dust and grime. The floors creaked with every step. It was perfect. In the back, they found a dressing room filled with musty old opera outfits and cracked cassettes. When time to kill, they grabbed a couple of pieces from the costumes and threw one of the tapes on. What they heard stopped in their tracks, ghostly unnatural sounds, and that's tied to the killer. Voices that seemed to dance around the room. Disturbed, they stopped the tape immediately and made for the exit. Next day, the venue was packed. Axe Kick sounded tighter than ever. The crowd was losing their minds. Sweat pooled on V's brow as she played harder and faster in the suffocating heat. Above the crowd scream, she heard something else. The voices from the tape. She closed her eyes to block it out, focused on the beat. The noise of the crowd faded as she lost herself in the encore. The song ended, she opened her eyes and could barely see. She wiped her eyes, thinking it was a sweat, but it was something else, a thick black fog. The crowd was gone. Tick and Crit were gone. All she could hear was the echoes of her drums in the distance. She stood from her stool and strode into the inky blackness. Pretty sick. All right. Next, we're going to the killer. Let's take a look. And there she is. Holy crap. The Krasue hungers for blood. Her personal perks, Ravenous, Wandering Eye, and Hex Overture of Doom help her create mid-trial pressure, spot injured survivors, and cause confusion to whereabouts. Alright, let's see. Whoa. Ho, 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 ho. Holy shit, that was so cool. That was so cool. Okay, let's see your customizations. A voracious monster lived within her body, consumed with an unending hunger for flesh and blood, the Krasue. To drink the elixir was to accept that her body would be inhabited by another creature. How could she reject the promise of fame? The creature within killed without mercy, first mauling animals and feasting on her blood. The violent killings were a necessity as she accepted in return for her fame she desired. And then the free outfit you get for having the chapter. She awoke, relieved to see bloodied fur surrounding her. She'd hate to have mauled the opera's director and thrown her into a turmoil. Let's see these cosmetics here. Night Queen. Interesting. I can't spin her. Okay. Weekend Massacre. Ooh, okay. And Slaughter. Oh, it changes the hair as well. It looks like the face as well for the main thing. Virtue of Calmness. These are recolors. Then her prestige. I want to see if her inner body looks different with the prestige. Let's see. She's a pretty cool killer. So her icon's different than what it was from what I saw. Come on. Let's see. Whoa. Oh my god. Okay, her thing is different in the prestige as well. It's much more gory on her face. Holy crap. That's pretty sick. All right. Her perks. Ravenous. The scent of blood is in the air. Time to feast. Whenever you hook a survivor first time, gain 1 token up to maximum of 4. When you have 4 tokens, all survivors scream and are inflicted and exposed for 60 seconds. Exposed survivors are down by base attacks even if uninjured. Okay, interesting. So this is also gonna incentivize individual hooks. Exposed, and then Weeping Generva's bloodstreams. The devil smells the weak. Barone's Generva. Wandering Eye. Bloodied prey surrounds you, vying for your attention. Whenever you start chasing a survivor, reveal the auras of all other injured survivors within 60 meters for 5 seconds. This perk is a 30-second cooldown. A drop does not satiate when a river is needed, like Campbell's Grandeur of Samuel. Hex Overture of Doom. Hex that plays on the paranoia of others. Spawns a hex totem that curses the farthest generator and reveals its aura in yellow. A survivor repairs the cursed generator for 5 seconds. You gain undetectable and your terror radius is applied to the generator for 30 seconds. When the cursed generator is repaired, the next farthest generator is cursed. Undetectable hides that kills aura, terror radius, and red stain. Okay, I actually like her perks. Now, let's check out the Mori, alright? In 3, 2, 1. Holy shit. Holy shit. This is crazy. In her power, let's see. Krasue can shift between body and head forms at will. Body form is 32 meter terror radius, head form is 40 meter terror radius, and is slightly faster but cannot break pallets and is not granted bloodlust. Special effect Leech. Hitting a survivor with intestinal whip or a leeching gland adds to the leech meter. When the meter is filled, the survivor is afflicted with leeched 1. Leeched 1. The leech meter fills automatically. Leech 2, the survivor is afflicted with broken. If healthy, they become injured. Special ability, Intestinal Whip. In head form, press the attack button to lash out with your internal organs. Survivors afflicted with leech can be damaged by Intestinal Whip. Intestinal Whip partially fills survivor's leech meter up to leech 1. Special ability, Regurgitate. In body form, press and hold the power button to charge Regurgitate. When charged, tap the attack button to spew a leeching gland. Leeching gland completely fills the survivor's leech meter up to leech 1. Special item, Glowing Fungus. Survivors can eat glowing fungus to decrease the leech meter over time. Being hit ends the effect. Special ability, Headlong Flight. In headlong form, press and hold the power button to speed through the air. Okay, and let's read her bio. Burong Sukapat's operatic rehearsals in Thailand were a sea of emotion, but despite tiring efforts, she was unable to become anything more than an understudy. What started as a desire to share a gift became an unshakable need for fame. Her childhood friend, Janjira, was her biggest supporter, but aside from a shoulder to cry on, there was little more she could offer. It wasn't until Malai, a fellow singer, who had quickly risen the ranks, reached out that Burong's fortune changed. Malai presented Burong with a glass bottle, clear liquid within, and advised her to drink it, her tone deadly serious. Each night, another will inhabit your body, but you will be a success on the stage like me. Burong laughed at the peculiar change. Even so, she wanted more than anything to believe its truth. She grabbed the bottle and swallowed every drop. The following weeks, Burong's skin felt softer, and she found a depth in her voice that she never knew existed. During her next audition, the director took notice. Enraptured by the sound that rang through the theater, as the song ended, Burong thanked the director before coughing blood into a handkerchief. She stuffed it into her pocket, choosing ignorance. Whatever was happening to her was working. She wouldn't dare stop it now. That night, as she slept, a soothing warmth dripped down her body. She bolted upright, hand fumbling for a lamp that wasn't there. She lay in a yard she did not recognize, covered in blood, next to a ravaged chicken coop, feathers and gore staining the ground. She stumbled home before the city awoke to a new day. Under a scalding shower, she spit up blood, dreading the thought that this hadn't been her first hunt. In between heaving sobs, she prodded her abdomen, searching for where something might hide within. She called Janjira, but couldn't bring herself to reveal the horrors. Instead, telling her friend she'd been restlessly sleepwalking each night and needed someone to coax her back to bed. Janjira agreed to help. That morning, Burong awoke to Janjira, hand lovingly placed on her cheek. As she looked up, she choked on her cries. Janjira's severed hand fell from the bed, landing on her disemboweled carcass. For hours, she sat between her friend's remains in a state of silent shock. Janjira was dead, and for what? When she couldn't stand the smell of blood anymore. She grabbed cleaning supplies. As the sun set, a deep stain remained on the carpet. She walked through the streets until she reached Malai's home. Malai opened the door, and upon seeing Borong's eyes, immediately defended herself. She claimed she committed no wrong. She had been cursed. The only way to get rid of it was to pass it to someone else. She believed that Burong, in her desire for fame, could withstand the torment and achieve what she'd always wanted. Anger stirred within Burong. She felt the floor as fierce heat spilled over her. Malai stared in horror while Burong dug nails into her own skin, ripping at the burning agony. She tore chunks of flesh from her neck. Her entrails wriggled inside. Head tore free from her body. A long string of organs dragging behind like fish slapping against the shore. A seething hunger took over as Burong's disembodied head lifted into the air. It swooped at Malai, ravenously mauling the woman until nothing remained but blood, hair, and bone. Burong awoke to the mess, unable to find the sympathy to shed a tear. She returned home, allowing her thoughts to swirl until the room filled with light. The phone rang. The director's voice cut through the haze that had settled into her mind. He offered her the leading role. Burong fell to bed and cried, not from sadness, but relief and elation. During the evenings on the Bangkok stage, her stars shined bright. At night, she fed the creature within, and together they thrived in the world of hunger and song. The creature always wanted more, and one night it was presented just that. Promise of meat hung on hooks, dipping in tantalizing blood. And then there was fog.